and welcome back to End Times Prophecy News Update. Today in the news, we have more Democrat propaganda headed for our public schools if the Christians do not stand up and protest. The LGBT, gay and lesbian, transgender community intends to violate separation of church and state by bringing into the schools attempts to desensitize Christian students to the gay lifestyle, teaching a false teaching that there is no 100% male or female, which goes against their religious tenets of the book of Genesis, stating God made them male and female. The Christian students' civil rights, that of adhering to biblical core values, the federal Supreme Court ruling, still stands and is supported on government land, such as school campuses. The students' legal rights, that of not losing their First Amendment rights while upon government land, their legal right to oppose the state's viewpoint. Separation of church and state in its original intent, keeping the state out of the church, stopping the state from making forcible changes to the public's religious beliefs, in this case, our Christian students in the public schools. Crossing over that line into state endorsement of a belief, that which demonizes the Christian students' religious tenets of Romans chapter 1 and Deuteronomy 22:5. Man shall not wear that which pertains to a woman. These are biblical core values, as the federal Supreme Court cited in the biblical core values ruling, upholding our legal right to adhere to, specifically, Romans chapter 1 and scriptures concerning homosexuality. Our First Amendment rights. Our students are under fire because many are in a battle for their mind and their salvation. Romans chapter 1 states, those who do these things and those who support those who do these things. So, just supporting the gay lifestyle while not living it themselves violates the Christian students' biblical core values ruling. They cannot be forced to uphold a lifestyle that violates their Christian religious tenets. Nor can the state come in to attempt to change their religious beliefs. Remember this when the teaching on fluidity and the LGBT community comes to your school system. Christian parents need to be ready to write the media, plan protests, have town hall meetings, and go to the school board meetings speaking out that you're not going to allow them to violate separation of church and state in its original intent, keeping the state out of the church, preventing them from choosing one religion or one belief over another. Just as they cannot demonize religious beliefs that do not accept homosexuality, including Christianity's Romans chapter 1, they can also not endorse any beliefs or tenets such as the acceptance of homosexuality or churches and religious beliefs that do so. And while LGBT groups will state that this is not about religion, it's about acceptance. Remember the biblical core values ruling covering Romans chapter 1 and the Christian's legal right to not accept a lifestyle that their religious tenets forbids. The teaching on fluidity has no scientific basis. The American Medical Association has never stated there's not a 100% male or female. What the federal Supreme Court stated in the DOMA hearings came from the American Medical Association's statement before the court. When standing before federal judges, the American Medical Association stated there's never been found a gay gene to date. There's never been a clump of genes found that create a homosexual, nor were there epigenetic markers cutting on gay genes. And they also stated that transgender was GID, gender identity disorder. Currently, many believe the American Medical Association has swapped sides of the fence due to political pressure and harassment. However, what they stated before the federal Supreme Court in front of federal judges is quite the opposite. Caving to political pressure, the American Medical Association may have swapped sides of the fence, but what they stated before the federal Supreme Court was the facts that came straight from the studies. The transcripts are available from your state bar association. Keep this in mind when debating the public school system. Are they teaching fact or fiction? Or myth? To back up a lifestyle they want to procure and they want to force our children to accept. You know it's state propaganda when there's zero science involved and they set out to change the public's viewpoint. We've gone far from just the reading, writing, and arithmetic. Now the state wants to control what you do or do not accept and to de-Christianize the population, closely akin to that of the gay identity movement in Nazi Germany. Have your children ready to face the propaganda, knowing that's exactly what it is and that there's no scientific basis to it. Our children understand. Hate the sin, but love the sinner. Pray for the person and pray for their salvation, but never compromise the scriptures, such as Romans chapter 1 and Deuteronomy 22:5. This has been another End Times Prophecy News Update. Thank you for listening.